I'm Reena, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. I welcome you all for this basics of Java arrays. Topics are what is an array, types of array, array declaration, array creation, array initialization, and accessing array elements. What is an array? Array is one of the static data structure. It is a collection of homogeneous elements, which means that it can hold only similar data elements. All elements are stored in contiguous memory location. In other words, we can say all elements are stored in sequential memory location. In array, we can store more than one values under one variable name. Here are the examples. In this example, the first line, that is int a is equal to 10. This will create an integer type of variable a and initialize it with the value 10. So the variable a can hold only one integer value, that the value is 10. If we want to store more than one value, we need to create an array. Basically, the array elements are indexed based. The first element stored at the 0th index and the second element stored at the first index, and so on. And this is the diagrammatic representation of array with 10 elements. The first index starts at 0 and the last element stored in 9th index. If we want to access the data, we have to use the index. With the index value, we can directly access the array elements. Now look at the second line of code snippets. Here, int a single subscript equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. So the elements are mentioned within the curly brackets. Here, a is the array variable which is of the type integer, and the values of array are 10, 20, 30 and 40. Array is a static data structure, so we need to give size of the array, but here we directly assign the value. So the Java compiler will automatically allocate the memory for the array variable according to the number of elements it holds. Types of array in Java. There are two types of array, single dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. The other name for single dimensional array or one-dimensional array, 1D array. It is the type of linear data structure. The single dimensional array represented by single subscript. This is the diagrammatic representation of one-dimensional array with 6 elements. The subscript may represent row value. If we want to use an array, we need to follow some steps. First, we need to declare an array. Second, we need to create the array. Next, we need to initialize the array. First, we'll see the first step, declaring an array. For declaration, we need to follow 3 steps. Declaring an array identifier, declaring the number of dimensions, declaring the data type of the array elements. There are 2 methods to declare an array. In the first method, first we need to mention the type, next array variable, followed by single subscripts. Here the type or any primitive data type. It may be integer, float, character and so on. And the array variable is a user defined array variable. The subscripts, that is the left square bracket and the right square brackets, combinedly called as subscripts. And this is the single subscript which represents single dimensional array. If we want to use two-dimensional array, then we need to include one more subscript for 2D array. we need to use two subscripts. In the second method, we need to write first type, next subscript, followed by array variable name. In this example, double single subscript data. So data is the array variable name. It can hold only double type of values. The next step is array creation. After declaring an array, no array actually exists. In order to create an array, we use the new operator. Let us discuss the syntax for creating an array. Here there are two-line syntax. The first line for declaring an array, second line for creating an array. For creation, we need to write array variable name in the left hand side of assignment operator. In the right hand side, first we need to write new operator, then the type with size. The size must be between the subscripts. Since array is the static data structure, we need to mention the size before. In the example, the first line, that is array declaration statement. And then second line, array creation syntax statement. This creates a new array to hold size elements of type, which reference will be kept in the variable array variable. In the example, the first line, int month day single subscript. So this line will declare an array name month days, which is of the type integer. And in the second line, month days is the array variable name equal to new, int is the data type, and the size of the array is 12. So it can hold 12 values. After the execution of the second statement, array will get memory location. In Java, we can write these two statements in a single statement, that is int month days single subscript equal to new int, and we need to mention the size within the single subscript. Next, array initialization. We can initialize an array at the time of declaration itself. Here is the example. Here the first data type, that is int, and next array variable name month days, and single subscript equal to, within the curly brackets, the values are mentioned here. We need to notice one point here. We have not provided the size of the array. Java compiler will allocate enough memory to hold all the elements which are mentioned within the curly brackets by counting the value. And using the index value, we directly assign or directly initialize values to the array. So after creation statement, we can use the index value to initialize the array variable. So in this example, int single subscript age is equal to new int of 5. So age is the array variable. It can hold 5 integer type of value. For initialization, we need to use the index value. Age of 0 is equal to 12. So now the value 12 will be stored in the index location 0. And next line, age 1 is equal to 4. Now the value 4 will be stored in the memory location which is mentioned by age of 1. Similarly, it will store the values inside the memory locations. Next, accessing array elements. We'll see one example program to know about how to access array elements. So we can access the array elements using the array index value. So in this example, first class, so class is the keyword and here main is the class name. After that we need to put curly bracket and next we need to write the main function. So here public static void main string args. So this is the main method definition. Inside the main method, the first line is int age is equal to 12, 4, 5, 2, 5. So there are 5 values. So age is a array variable. It can hold 5 integer type of values and the values are 12, 4, 5, 2 and 5. Next line, the output statement system.out.println. Accessing elements of array. So this will be the first output statement. If you see the output, the first statement is accessing elements of array. And in the program, the second line system.out.println first element plus age of 0. So this will print the value of the first element of the age array, that is the value which is stored in the index 0. So in the output statement, first element 12 and next system.out.println second element age of 1. So this will print the element which is stored in the first index, that is second element 4. Next the output statement will be third element 5, next fourth element 2 and next fifth element 5. So using index value we can directly access the array variables.